we are here to break it down, y'all. This is episode 4, as you all can see below me, for Secret Invasion Beloved. And listen, man, this show isn't getting the love that I think it deserves right now, ladies and gentlemen. I have really been enjoying this show so far. It's not my favorite of all the MCU shows, not my low keys and WandaVisions and what have you, but it's a solid show, man. I enjoyed it, and I hope you all enjoyed it, because we're going to talk about it tonight. Again, full spoilers, breaking it all down for this 4th episode of the Secret Invasion show, which means we only got 2 episodes left, man. This show has been flying by. Last week, we ended the episode with Gravik finding out she's the mole. He was setting up the whole thing to find out who it was, and it was her. He shoots her. And like I said last week, the fact that she's alive, it is revealed that she did inject herself with the Super Skrull serum. She is alive. She is fresh, rejuvenated. What is it everything that Gravik has? It is everything that we saw on the computer a couple weeks ago. It is the doctor. That's Dr. Dalton, who we met in episode 2. So we know that she is also being held in this mind hive, reads the memories, and she's able to understand, okay, I got to do this, got to do that. That's how I get the extremists. I got to turn the machine. But also, think about this. Her digging into the doctor memories, that means she probably knows, if it comes to it, how to destroy the machine, how the weaknesses of the serum of the Super Skrull. She probably knows more about the whole situation at hand, more so than Gravik, because Dr. Dalton has all the memories. She has all the information in the head. So I wouldn't be surprised Gaia understands how to take down a Super Skrull, how to take down this machine. It's something to look forward to in the coming weeks, all the memories and everything that she's obtained for Dr. Dalton in the weeks ahead. A shadow of a doubt is every time these two were on screen, and I'm referring to Priscilla, who we find out her identity is in this episode, and our boy Nick Fury. Whenever they were on screen together in this episode, it was just the most compelling stuff of this episode, and really some of the most compelling stuff that we've gotten in the MCU in a very long time, as far as just like relationships, right? We don't have that many like serious relationships in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, we know Cap, Peggy, Iron Man, Tony, Pepper, MJ, and Spider-Man, and Peter and Gamora. We got a little bit of T'Challa and Nakia, but it's really not like the most like we don't really see them having these type of moments. I'm referring to like the couples in the MCU. So just seeing them on like we want to call it a date night in Paris. It's 2012. And shout out to Nick Fury, man. Like this man, the swagger, the confidence of this dude. Listen, guys, this dude literally just jumped off the plane fighting aliens. He just got done with an Avengers, Jatari and saving the world, and just did all that, and still has time to hang out with his boo thing. I mean, the guy is just he can do it all, y'all. The Avengers have been assembled, and Priscilla is having her conversation. She's talking about the poems, which we'll talk about towards the end of the episode, because it obviously ties into this conversation at hand. But the understanding of the scene here is just really appreciating the love that she has for Nick Fury. This is an alien. I don't know how old she is. You would imagine she's come across many different species, of course, her own species with the Skrulls. She's probably come across her fair share of Kree, so on and so forth. But she is so in love with this man. And that conversation, she just wants to be beloved. She wants to find love, and she wants to find it on Earth with our Nick Fury. I got to tell y'all, man, I'm just like so enamored and just so engaged with this relationship. And it's something that I hope moves on past this series, and hopefully we get more of her, because I just love their love, right? Black love, if I'm being honest with you. Again, we don't get that much black love in the MCU, so it's just great to see, and the acting is just phenomenal. And again, just like Talos and Nick Fury, obviously we saw their introduction in Captain Marvel, and we didn't see a ton of their friendship, but we understood that it developed over 30 years, and the acting between Ben Mendelsohn and Sam Jackson is able to convey that relationship within that 30-year span, which I appreciate. And the same thing can be said about these two. You can see the love. You can see how much she just is in awe of Fury. And the same goes with Nick Fury. He's in awe of her as well. So again, we're going to talk about another scene a little bit later, but I just really, really enjoy this relationship. the conversation, the love, you can feel it, and it's just great, man. It's really, really great, which makes what happens a little bit later just as heartbreaking. But Rhodey, or should we call her Roshanda, Roisha, like what do we call this this Skrull that is impersonating Rhodes this whole time? Or I guess that's a question before we break down the scene here. Question from a live audience and those watching the replay. Based on this episode, this Rhodey Roshanda is spicy, right? Like, she is like all about, like, she getting in people's faces, talking about DDT, Undertaker, all this stuff. She was hot. She was hot in this episode. She was on one, right? We ain't never seen Rhodey ever talk like that, right? Like ever in the MCU. So I'm just thinking of all the previous times we've seen Rhodey on screen. It makes me wonder, when did the switch happen? Was it Endgame, Civil War, Infinity War? Because Rhodey was on Earth after the blip. Was it during that time? Was it all the way back in Iron Man 2? Like, I'm just so curious because, again, the sauce coming from Roshanda was crazy. So, I can't think of Rhodey being that saucy, y'all. So I'm thinking it's more new. I'm thinking it's something more current within the MCU timeline, which I would assume will be addressed, if not this series, then most likely in his movie Armored Wars. And also, I believe he's a part of the Riri Williams show, the Ironheart show. So we might get some revelations of what happened to Rhodey, where he's been, and on all that good stuff. But again, let me know in the comments, how long has Roshanda been Roshanda? But anyway, the scene is great. We see present day. Priscilla meets, with Rhodes from the phone call that we got last week. And I'm going to keep calling Roshanda. Rhodey Roshanda. Roshanda gives her the orders to kill Fury. This isn't from Gravik. This isn't from his second in command. This is from Roshanda herself, which makes me wonder, what is the pyramid? Who's really in command? Because if this Rhodey Skrull is able to give field commands to take out someone as high ranking as Fury, it makes you wonder how the power dynamic is between Gravik and Roshanda, so on and so forth. Or is that where things are going to crumble? Is that where it's going to break down from the inside, that this particular Skrull is, over, making moves without Gravik's approval, what have you, and that might divide them from within. So very, very interesting stuff. And you can also, within that scene too, without moving past it and again to the comments here in a second, you notice that Priscilla was not like gun-ho, super on board with killing Fury. She's just like, hey, maybe we don't have to kill him. He's already old. He's moving slow, talking slow. One more, defeat, one more person he loses, he's just going to call it quits. And she's trying to make that, convince Roshanda to not kill her husband, the love of her life. But he's like, nah, you're going to do what I say. And if not, you're going to see what I'm capable of. So again, very great scene. And again, that spicy Roshanda is something else. Man, I feel you, Nick. You like, God damn it, woman. I can't trust anyone, let alone my wife of 30 years, y'all. So Nick Fury, and this goes back to last week when I was talking to my homie Chris, who joined me. The question I posed to him was, if you're Nick Fury, do you pick up the phone? Do you look at the call list? Do you look at the text messages? And I think I had briefly mentioned before we moved on to the next topic last week that I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Fury somehow put a bug or put something on the phone. Lo and behold, that, again, smart move on Fury. He did bug the phone. He kept tabs on his wife's phone. And this is the conversation at hand. And like I said, I feel you right now, Nick. He's just like, man, I can't trust anyone. But this is a conversation that shout out to Talos, man. The man has been brainwashed, or Stockholm syndrome or something. Need I remind y'all, when we first met Gravik, not Gravik, but Talos in Captain Marvel, this was a general. He was the general, the leader of all the Skrulls, had a plan, stuck to the plan. Eventually, we know he turned to a good guy, yada, yada, yada. What I'm getting at is the man has had a history of being in control, which means you have to make tough decisions, good decisions for you and your people. I don't know what Talos was smoking when he tells his daughter his idea. which is, listen, she's like, Gravik has a plan. It's a really good plan. Might be terrible, but at least it's a plan that's in motion. What's your plans, Dad? I'm with you. What's the plan, Dad? This man tells his daughter, looks her in the eye. Shout out to Amelia Clark, Mother of Dragons. He looks her in the eye and says, you know what the plan, honey, is we're going to go ahead and, save the world, take out Gravik, his whole plan. We're going to go ahead and do that. No problem. Easy. It's another Tuesday. We'll take him out. And then, sweetheart, we're going to go to the president, right? We're going to go to his front door, full access to the White House. No issues there. We're going to go to the president and then tell the president, hey, you see what we did? We saved the world. So with that being said, can you hook a brother up type of conversation? Talos, that has to be the dumbest idea I've ever heard. So crazy. I think the Talos is a Skrull because that is the most dumbest idea that you think after this Skrull has tried to take over the world, that now the president's going to be like, well, I can distinguish the good Skrulls. No, all of them are bad, right? So especially, and again, taking into consideration, this is the Marvel Cinematic 616 universe. Jatari, Age of Ultron, we got freaking multiversal situations that's going to be breaking out. We had freaking Thanos, the blip. This world has seen a lot. Their leeway, their runway of allowing people to just, okay, we'll just be kumbaya, that is worn down. Talos, my man, got a better idea than that. That was just terrible. So much so, guys, like, you are delusional, Pops. Deuces. I'm out of here. Let me know what you all thought about that plan, man. Was so stupid. I can't get over the fact. Look, Talos, I know you respect Fury. That's your boy, blah, blah, blah. But, man, Earth has made you soft, my man. Soft in the head for sure, bro, because that is just a very, very stupid plan that he came up with. But let me know what y'all thought about that. And if it is to be true that he is dead, this is the last time they've communicated, right? She's gonna probably have a sense of like, this is the last time I talked to my dad. If he is dead, she didn't get that chance to actually say goodbye. And this just speaks to, again, I wonder if there's more with her mother too, because again, we didn't even see her mother die. Talos told her that she died, but like, how did she die? When did she die? So she's lost both of her parents, assuming that Talos is dead, and also assuming that his mother is officially dead, which I'm assuming she is because they haven't even brought her up ever since. So shows how much they miss her, I guess. Anyway, let me know what you all think about this conversation. And that plan has to be one of the most dumbest plans I've heard in a very long time from a person that was at once in control with being the leaders of the Skrulls. Let's talk about the Fury household. My man Fury's home early. The ring's in the bin, and she's like, "Oh, honey, you forgot I came out back." But we know he did that on purpose because that's the one sign like it's about to be going down. She comes in, wants some tea. They're sitting down having the conversation, and she knows Nick. Nick knows her. She can read the room, right? She's not oblivious to the situation. This is a super spy, but he's also the love of her life, and vice versa. All the dumb stuff I didn't get myself into, this, that, and the third, you are easily the greatest mistake I have ever made. Referring to obviously falling in love with her. My mind told me not to do it. My heart told me not to do it. My super spidey senses told me not to involve myself in this relationship. But damn it, I did it. I fell in love with you, and it was the greatest mistake I ever made. And the mood, the looks, the mannerisms, the nuance in their performance was just so refreshing to me because, again, I think we sometimes get trapped into the spectacle of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and sometimes I think that takes away from who these people are in these apes and costumes and eye patches and whatnot. These are highly, highly capable, incredible, Oscar-winning, Emmy-winning, Tony-winning actors that they put in these roles, one of them being the great Sam Jackson himself. Man has done it all from a very long career and has a lot more in the tank, as we can see. I love when actors get to act, right? And they get to act not against a green screen, nothing against visual effects or anything like that, not against a CGI creature, but to have, well, in this case, this is a Skrull, but you know what I'm saying, to have that human conversation between this husband and wife over 30 years, it all come crashing down due to a lie. And this is the king of lies, is Nick Fury. But his wife lied to him And it was the conversation is, you're here to kill me. And I love this moment of them putting, as they say, all the cards on the table. And literally at this point, all the guns on the table. He takes out his gun. She takes out her gun. I love a cinematic universe, but we don't always get to see these actors get the act. We get to see them being in turmoil, trying to come up with a plan. We know Nick Fury is the man of the plan, but we don't get to see him having these more quieter, vulnerable moments as a man, right? He's the great Nick Fury, always 10 steps ahead, but having a conversation with his wife who betrayed him. Whew, I'm telling y'all, man, it was great. It was great, man. Guns on the table. They're having a conversation. How did you choose the face you chose? She gives him the full story. It was a doctor, Priscilla, who was on her deathbed, who was on her last, few days due to, I believe, a heart condition. She would visit her every single day, which I'm very curious on who was the face before the face. Visit her in the hospital, grew a great relationship, a friendship with each other. And this is another great thing, too, that I love about the good Skrulls versus the bad. I love the fact that Priscilla asks if it was okay to assume her identity. I love that. And not just automatically taking it. She gets her approval, but she has to do 3 promises. Promise 1, bury me at sea. Continue to be a daughter to the actual Priscilla's parents, which she did. 3, never hurt Nick. Because she tells her, I can take you on an identity and you can fall in love after you pass on from this earth. So it's Shakespearean, it's beautiful, it's poetry. As we know, this is when the whole beloved conversation comes up. They're saying the lines, which was to feel myself beloved on earth. And they pull out their guns and pow. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Smith moment there. I love that moment, man. For a second, I'm like, oh, Nick shot first. Shout out to Han Solo. Nick got the shot. I'm like, oh, he killed her. But then the camera goes directly to her first, right? Like, boom, bow, badow. This scene, and bring this back up that we talked about earlier, that scene of that conversation reminded me so much of Wanda and Vision having the conversation. Again, I don't want to make it seem I don't love the MCU. I do. But I'm just referring to like these relationships in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We don't get these many times where these couples get to have pillow talk, heart-to-hearts, emotional moments. I haven't felt this way since this scene here with WandaVision. I believe it was episode 8. That was just fantastic. It was way better than the finale, I'll tell you that. But guns out, boom, boom, and it's revealed that they shot, but they missed. And I love the line. They have a little laugh. Fury says, I don't know whether we should renew our vows or I don't know if we should divorce each other or renew our vows. Such a great line. Such great delivery from Sam Jackson, and she laughs it off. And he walks out, and before he does, she says to him, would you love me in my true skin? I guess we'll never find out. Come on, man. Come on, bro. That's some fire line delivery, some great scenery, just a great. I feel like I was watching a well done play by 2 great actors that trust each other. It's great, man. This is easily one of my favorite scenes of this series, but also just in general in the last phase or so, man. It wasn't any action. It's 2 people having a conversation. I love it, man. Moving on, something I do not love is this dirty down mother Roshonda, y'all. Roshonda in the bath, getting all cleaned up. Man, I don't know what soap does a Skrull use. What do they brush their teeth? And the question I have at home for you guys is this shell, the Skrull, Roshonda, who is she? How long has she been in position of power? As I mentioned earlier, her making that call to kill Fury is a very high order demand. So how high up is she? Who is she? Does she have relations with Gravik on a more, whether it's respect level, romantic level? Who is this actual Skrull is my question. Very, very curious. And again, as we talked about earlier, how long has Shonda been Rhodes? Let me know in the comments below. I think I know when Roshonda isn't Rhodes. You know who I think that she might put the skin on, who she might just be when she's not Rhodes? I got a little insight for you all. Breaking news. This is Roshonda when she's not Rhodey, y'all. She's causing havoc on airplanes, drunk as a skunk, as we'll talk about Rashonda got a little drunk in this episode. This is her other shell when she's not Rhodey, y'all. It's the truth. It's the truth. Have y'all seen this, man? I don't know if you, I don't care. That mother isn't real. He has the Pappy Van Winkle drink, and he's here to tell Rhodes, listen, man, there's a mole, there's a Skrull high up in the government, and listen, man, I can give you the intel, I can give you this, that, and the third, as long as you give me my job, brother. Brother got to look out for another brother. Rhodes, again, saucy as all hell, is like, I'll do you one better. Let me counter your offer. These wild conspiracies, I can do you one better. You keep your mouth shut, and I won't leak, you're killing Maria Hill tape out there on World Star. I won't let the world know what you did, and, we'll be Gucci. So I guess the question I have for you guys is, in this scene, did you interpret that Rashonda is aware that Fury is aware that they are a Skrull? Or do you think that, again, Fury being the great spy that he is, he played it so well that it's like, it's not you, but there's someone else? Like, how did you all read that scene? I read it as though Rhodes isn't aware that Fury is aware that they're the one that he was referring to. But I could be wrong. Let me know how you guys interpreted that scene. Like I said, I don't think that Rhodes is aware that Fury knows. He slipped him something in a drink, and it's a liquid location tracker to follow Rhodes, which brings us into our final moments of the episode. Which my issue with this show is, again, the world threatening situation at hand just doesn't feel as menacing or as in the forefront as I think it should be. See, even when Nick Fury is following Rhodes, we got the people outside with their signs and whatnot. They don't want war. I don't feel like the world is about to explode with this tension between Russia and America. It's all been in the background. That's the show, because in the comics of Secret Invasion, it's not, there's some higher level up government people that they take their form, but it's mostly the Avengers, right? It's the heroes that they take their form. So obviously this is a TV show. They don't have the budget to do all that. So I was thinking that it was going to really be felt that they have been infiltrating all the different levels of different governments around the world. But I really haven't felt that dire world catastrophe type of moments in this show. And it's really kind of fell a little flat for me, that it's still very ground level of the threat of the Skrulls taking off. To me, I just haven't felt it quite yet. But things kind of change in this particular moment here. But let me know if you guys are the same boat with me, that you really haven't felt that true threat of the Skrulls. Because, again, I guess just establishing, and I guess this is kind of another, I don't want to say loophole or whatnot, but there are 1 million Skrulls on Earth. Gravik has about 500 on his side. I don't think Talos has many allies at all from a Skrull perspective. Where are the other Skrulls in this situation? Where do they lie in with everything that's going on? Again, it's just like, that's the harsh thing about a 6-episode, 37 to 58 minute long show, is like all that other stuff, all that world building, which to me is important. Where are the other Skrulls? What are the other world leaders think of the tension going on right now that can possibly set off this World War III? That stuff to me has been kind of in the backdrop. I've been thinking for the longest time, and I think, again, Marvel kind of showed his hand when they announced the casting of the recasting Harrison Ford over as Ross, that they said that he will be the president. Harrison Ford will be the president in Captain America 4. So when the trailer for this came out, everyone saw the shot that we're about to break down with the missiles, the president potentially dying. I was under an assumption that that's the scene, that we're going to see the president die. And it was going back to just kind of, again, the grittiness of the show. And it reminds me so much of, one of the greatest MCU projects to date, which is Winter Soldier. Nick Fury, Talos, obviously following them with the tracker. They know where all the action's taking place. They are under an assumption that this is the Russians' retaliation to what happened in episode 1, at the end of episode 1 with the missile or the bomb going off. You got explosives, bullets flying around, the president's in the car. And again, I love how it looks, man, because the helicopter gets shot down. The helicopter propeller is about to hit the president's car. Like, it's a really well choreographed scene. And the action was so well put together by the direction here. Really enjoyed it. Talos and Fury, they're in action. Fury gets his missile. Shout out to the first Avenger. That's the first time I think he shot a missile since that film. And we see Gravik is like, he's I don't know if y'all noticed, man, but Gravik was kind of like, oh damn, Fury's on the field. Oh snap. He got a little bit nervous, the young buck. He was a little bit scared there that, Papa Fury was ready to play ball. So I will say, now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is another little nitpick that I had. I have a question for y'all because I am under the assumption that Gravik and his crew that he has, they're all Skrulls, right? Aren't they turning into Skrulls? Aren't these a bunch of dead Skrulls that are behind us? Or is it just Gravik and his right-hand man are the only Skrulls and they've managed to find other humans that, I don't know, want to take down America? I don't think that's the case. I think these are all Skrulls, right? And what I'm getting at is these are a bunch of dead Skrulls on the floor. And which even speaks to the next scene here. When they're having the shootout, we see that Hellos is like, oh, here's my chance to save the president and to pitch my great idea. He's like, okay, I got this. He's going to break, because obviously no human could break a freaking bulletproof, CIA souped up car for the president. He's banging on the glass, and Talos tells his Gravik tells his second demand and shoot to Talos, which he does. And I gotta say, man, again, I know we've been kind of making fun of Marvel and just comic book films in general with some of the visual effects. When Talos gets shot and he's like transforming in and out of being, obviously the human form and also being, a Skrull, bro, that was clean. That switch between the two, really well done. But one of the soldiers sees Talos, and this goes back to my complaint a couple seconds ago, minutes ago. Talos like, oh, there's a goddamn alien trying to get the president. Y'all kill him. But going back to my biggest thing is like, there's an alien on the field. Try to get aren't there a ton of other dead aliens on this battlefield that you guys have killed? Again, let me know in the chat if I'm tripping that all of Gravik's men that were being shot at were also Skrulls, and they should be in their Skrull form, meaning that there's a ton of Skrulls laying around dead on the floor. I could be wrong. And we saw this in the trailer, but it was still pretty cool to see. He uses his Groot arm and crushes one of the soldiers, which was pretty cool. But you showed your damn hand, Gravik. Now everyone knows the Skrulls or whatever. Well, they might not know that they're Skrulls. They will now. I'll tell you that. It's probably gonna be footage of that. He exposes his Groot arm and kills that soldier. Wrap up the episode with Talos managing to get the president out, and he's hurting, man. He's dying. He gets the president out. He probably just went, but Mr. President, I'm a Skrull, by the way. Help my people. But he didn't get that chance because the president was knocked out. Fury has his car. He takes the president to the car, and Talos is being helped out by one of the soldiers. Lo and behold, it's Gravik. Stabs him in the heart. And Fury pop, shoots him in the face. But we all know he has that extremis. And Fury's like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is about a week, right? A tough week for Fury. Had to break off his early vacation, being in space. Found out his baby mama or baby wife, 30 years, damn near cheated on him. Break his heart. Lost Maria Hill. Skrulls, there's not 19, 15 of them. There's a million of them. It's been a tough week for Fury. And now he's seeing that these species of aliens that he's thought that he knows all the ins and outs, all their powers, abilities, their pros or cons, or strengths or weaknesses. This man is shocked. What was that? And more importantly, he just lost his friend. In the episode, y'all. We in the episode. Which, by the way, again, talking about trailers. And hopefully we'll see this scene. But there's a shot in the trailer. I don't know if y'all can make that out. That is a shot of Emilia Clarke as Gaia. And that is Talos. Obviously, we didn't see that in this episode. So I am to assume that that's going to be the opening scene of next week. Which, let's throw our theories in the chat now. Talos. If he is dead, that is the second death of this series, which I think is the highest of any Marvel show so far as like important characters to the cinematic universe. Obviously, Maria Hill, assuming that she is dead, which I think she is at this point. And now Talos. What do y'all think about Ben Mendelsohn? What do y'all think about Talos? What do you think about Gaia taking on that mantle and kind of being the replacement of him of sorts. So we've gotten a lot of those in phase 4 and 5. Hulk, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, T'Challa, Shuri. I mean, there's been a lot of the, passing the batons of a sort. So this is yet another example of that. How do y'all feel about it? I told y'all in episode 1, I love Emilia Clarke, big Game of Thrones fan, Mother of Dragons, big fan of her. So I love that she's in the MCU, but that at the expense of losing a great actor in Ben Mendelsohn. So let me know how y'all feel about it. And do you think it is the truth? Do you think he's dead? Do you think he's gone? He's gone forever, never, ever coming back? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Overall, solid episode. We talked about the scenes that I love with Priscilla, Nick Fury, Saucy, Rhodes, Rashonda. Good action set piece. Little qualms, little issues that I had with some of the dead Skrulls back there. No one sees that. And also, again, Gravik's motivation of understanding he wants a new home, but damn, you got to kill everyone to do that. Where's that coming from? And also, I still haven't felt the gravity of the situation. I'm hoping that this now gives me a better sense of the world's understanding of what's going on. And now that the Skrulls we're assuming that they're going to be outed after this episode. Will Talos saving the president help his silly, dumbass plan to have the humans understand that there are good Skrulls out there? They want to coexist with the humans. Will this be the move that the president will say, okay, a Skrull saved my life. If there's any other Skrulls out there, please stand forward. I doubt we're going to get that in this type of show with 2 episodes left, but I wonder if that's going to be the case moving forward, or if it's just going to be everything he just did is in vain because Talos is overshadowed by Gravik trying to kill the president, take over the world. Is that going to be, under the rug and kind of forgotten? So very, very curious on what that him saving the president means moving forward for not just Talos, but the Skrulls in general. And, how is Emilia Clarke, Gaia, going to handle losing her mom and her dad? And can we finally get a scene with Gaia and Nick Fury? We know they know each other from back in the day. So it's going to be interesting to see a scene between those two, because obviously she hates Fury because of the lie, but also now her dad is she's probably going to blame him because also, I guess I forgot to mention, damn, Fury, you left your boy on the battlefield? You couldn't pick him up, throw him in a car? I know you got the president on in your arm. Duty comes first, but damn, that's kind of cold, man. He left his best friend dead. Couldn't even throw him a bone. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Like, share, comment, leave your thoughts in the comments of this episode, thoughts, theories, pros, cons, and everything in between. We'll catch you guys in the next one.